Hi everyone, I'm Ingrid, and this is quite counterintuitive to me to even do something like this, but because I'm passionate about what I do and the reason I'm doing it, because of my own journey, I really wanted to be able to share that, in the instance that it might be able to help other people with things that they're going through, whether it be physical, emotional, a faith journey, or anything else that you've got going on in your life, whether it's just illness or seasonal stuff or whatever, sleep maybe. I just thought, I shared a post on Facebook about some of my journey a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of people did ask questions about things that have helped me, and I wanted to be able to answer those personally, but I also thought that if I could share this in a way that other people could see it and benefit from it, then I wanted to be able to do that, because my whole mission now in life is to really help people, through having gone through my own journey of health for such a long time. It really means so much to me to be able to help people in any way that I can. So that's why I'm doing this. If you don't know me, I'm sure most of you probably do if you're watching this, because you probably are a friend on Facebook or are following my Facebook page. But my name's Ingrid, like I said, and I'm 37, and I have had quite a journey with things that I've studied in the past, but basically, predominantly for what I've done with my study background is I've studied pretty much on and off for the last 10 to 12 years anatomy and physiology, human anatomy and physiology, human biology. I'm really, really interested and passionate about how the body works and the body's ability to heal, and what also what we put into our bodies, how that affects us, both good and bad. So I'm also a qualified massage and beauty therapist. I've been operating my own business part-time in that area, those two areas, for about 7 years. I've done a lot of mobile massage and beauty therapy. I've worked with people in oncology that have been terminally ill, which has been a real blessing to me. And I absolutely love that. It's something I'm really, really passionate about, is helping people, full stop. I love people. I want people to be well. And that is through my own experience, that I just want to be able to give whatever I can and whatever I've learned, and whether it be through my own personal experience or through, my study, to be able to pass that information on, to help people in their wellness journey, in whichever capacity that is, and with whatever they're dealing with. So I'm also now studying towards a degree in nutrition through Massey University, which I absolutely love. That came about as well through my own journey with my health, around food. And what I really would love to be able to do at some stage, is to work with policy at government level to really see, to do research and to develop things in a way to really eradicate food-related illnesses from what is happening in our lives, stuff that just really shouldn't exist, in my personal opinion. Things like diabetes and obesity, eating disorders, which is something I'll talk about in a minute, but that I'm very, very familiar with. And, even allergies, food-related intolerances, celiac disease, Crohn's disease, all of these things, I just really believe that they shouldn't be they just really shouldn't exist. I believe that I've learnt so much and know from a scientific perspective and knowledge perspective that food is meant to make you well. It's not meant to make you sick. So that's been a big journey for me as well, on a physical and emotional, psychological level. What else? So now, what I'm doing, on top of those three things with my business, which is called Touch by Grace, which initially was my massage and beauty therapy, then with my nutrition, which has come about through both my own journey and my desire to help people with wellness in every area of their life. I'm now a wellness advocate and educator with doTERRA, which is an amazing essential oils company, and the reason I'm doing that is because of my experience with the oils that they have and how much they have helped me in my own journey. So through the posts that I'm going to share on this page, and I'm going to talk a lot about those oils and the different ways that they've helped me, different ways that they can help other people, whether it be yourself or other people in your life, for example with stress and anxiety, with sleep, with rehabilitation from injury, with digestive issues, with emotional balance, hormonal balance, with weight control, with what else? Just immunity, and coughs and colds and all of that kind of stuff, the seasonal threats, being able to just enhance your own immunity from using natural solutions, and just all of that. There's so much that doTERRA is able to offer to help our bodies naturally support themselves in every single area, and I'm so passionate about that, and I just want to be able to share that with everyone, because I literally just feel so strongly about health, and I just really, 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 really want to see people well, and for them to feel and be the best internally and physically, emotionally, in their faith, if that's what you have, every area that you feel that you are your best. So that's my whole goal in life, is to really help people with that. So this was really just an introduction to tell you a little bit about me and why I'm doing what I'm doing, a bit about my background. I've also studied law for a number of years, and worked in law, and done a lot of study in politics and languages, which is why I'm have combined both my legal political study background with my wellness health background into one whole degree now, which is so awesome to be able to do that, so that I'm now doing a double degree in nutrition and politics to hopefully be able to work with health policy at some point. So just a little bit about my background with my health story and how I came about doTERRA is that, and you may have, if you've read my post from a couple of weeks ago, you'll know about this a bit, but I suffered, I can say that now, I really believe that. In the past I've always said I am suffering or I have suffered, but I really believe I've turned a corner and am really on that journey to freedom now, so I'm choosing to say I suffered rather than I am suffering or I have been suffering. Or have suffered. From eating disorders for 23 years. That started when I was 13, and now I'm 37, as I say, and that's been huge. It really has been a massive part of my life. Well, really my whole life, to be honest, for that entire time, and it has been really debilitating. It has stolen a lot from my life, but in saying that, it has also blessed me so much, because what I have experienced and the pain that I've been through, the darkness that I've lived in, and the loneliness that comes with that illness, as well as the torment, has been a blessing to me, in that now I understand and can sort of empathize with people if they're going through the same thing, and maybe not the same thing, but anything like that, to be able to be sympathetic and empathetic more towards that, and compassionate and understand, and for people to know that I know what they're talking about, I know what it's like, I know the darkness that they felt. That's such a blessing to me, and I know that I wouldn't have that if it weren't for having gone through what I have. With that, my body suffered a lot. My digestive systems just got completely shot, and I was so malnourished for such a long time that my body's ability to be actually able to deal with food had been really compromised. And on an emotional level, I was clinically depressed. I attempted suicide a number of times. Thankfully, I can't believe, it's only by God's grace that I'm still here. I had major anxiety, and even before the eating disorder started, and I was an insomniac from the age of 8, and I started having chronic nightmares from the time I was 17, mostly due to sexual abuse and rape that occurred in my teenage years. And then from when I was about 22, on top of that, I got major stomach cramps from, my gut issues. So I basically just didn't sleep at all. So that's a little bit around that. I looked, and I've literally been trying to get well for such a long time, and I sought out so many different ways to try and do that, and it's been a massive journey for me, both physically and emotionally, and in my faith as well. Thank God that I do now have a very strong faith in God, and my faith has what I believe has kept me alive. So I'm a Christian, and I have been for 17 years now. And yeah, I really totally believe that God is the only reason that I'm here. And that is also part of why I'm doing what I'm doing, is because, I sort of think that if I'm still around, after everything that my body's been through, when it really I probably shouldn't be, that there must be a reason that I'm here. And so whatever that is, I want to fulfill that purpose that I am here for. And I really do believe that is for me to share my story, to help people know that they can get through stuff, that they're not alone, and also to hopefully stop other people from having to go through maybe some of the things that I've been through. So that's really big for me too. So in all of that, that's a little bit about the background side of things. I've also been on a massive journey with changing my diet because of my digestive issues. And, when was it? Probably back in 2008 now. I was told by gastroenterologists and specialists that my gut was basically wrecked, and that I would be dependent on medication for the rest of my life, or that by the time I was 40, I would need to have my intestines removed and be dependent on a colostomy bag for the remainder of my days, because my gut would give up. I was either told that, or that it was all in my head. My gut issues were all in my head, which I don't know where that kind of perspective could come from, when I was literally up most of the night vomiting, and with cramps, and going from, excuse me, but diarrhea to constipation constantly, and I was just so unwell. Every time I tried to put something in my body, I would be sick. So out of that, I just decided to not believe what they were telling me, and I decided to go on my own journey with food, and seeing just yeah, basically researching a lot, but also just experimenting with the things that either made me well or made me sick, and how things affected me. So that's been huge. So I've been doing that for 7 years, and I'll talk about that in a different post at some time when I talk about digestive stuff. But I'm now completely vegan. So, and my digestive system is the best it's ever been in my whole entire life. In fact, my health now is the best it's ever been in my entire life, from what I can remember. I'm sure maybe as a kid I was okay, but you know, in the last 23 years, my health is the best it has ever been. I am still on that journey. I'm now on I've got real goals with weight restoration. I've still got a way to go with that. But I know I can, and I am determined to be 100% completely free from anything that's held me captive in the past. So that's cool. So in the last 7 months, there's been a massive change. Part of that was with a massive turnaround with me having a major accident in October last year, where I broke my femur and smashed my hip and broke my wrist, and was basically left in a wheelchair. Well, I literally couldn't walk. When I came out of hospital, I did have crutches, but I had one crutch that was like an elbow crutch thing, can't remember what you call them, but because of that it damaged my shoulder, so I couldn't use it, so I couldn't walk. I couldn't use crutches, so I was left in a wheelchair, and that was basically for 2 to 3 months. I literally couldn't roll from one side to the other. It was bad. I'll show you a picture actually. So I had major surgery on my leg. My hand was put in a cast for a couple of months, and I hated it. But with my leg, I'll just show you, see if you can even see this, but so with I'll show you. See, this is my femur. You see that? That's my, you know, what do you call that? I only know the scientific term. Your upper leg bone. And now I have this. That's a big, massive metal plate in the side of my leg. And then I've got screws. These are 4 screws that go through my femur, and then at the top of this plate, I'll show you this thing here. I'll show you another picture. That's a nail, and that goes from the top. You might be able to see that's what do you call it? Your hip joint. So it goes from the top of my femur right through my pelvis, so right through my hip joint into my pelvis, and that is probably about a good old, about 15-20 centimeters long, that thing, and that's basically what's holding my leg together and hip joint together. So yeah, so that was pretty major surgery, and that was a real turning point in my life. I felt like everything that I knew got burnt to the ground, really. Physically, I didn't know who I was anymore. You know, now I've got all this metal inside of me. I've just been through major surgery. I can't walk, I can't stand up. Didn't know from one day to the next what I would be capable of, or how long that was going to last, or how long, you know, I mean, I couldn't make any plans, I couldn't set goals. I just really didn't know what the future held for me. On an emotional level, I really couldn't understand it. I couldn't comprehend how that could have happened in an instant, that my life could change that radically. My faith in God was tested completely, because I just, you know, I was like, God, how could this have happened? And, you know, my faith was so strong, but I just was so questioning why. But yeah, like I say, at that time it was as if it was a turning point for me to either start again and, you know, build from rock bottom. Basically it was like fallow ground, to either build from that place or to be defeated, you know. So it was a bit of a, didn't know which way things were going to go for a little while there, because 4 days after I got out of hospital, I was in hospital for 10 days. 4 days after I got out of hospital, I got notice from my landlords that I needed to move out of my house because they were moving back in 6 weeks later. I'd actually only been in that house for 6 weeks. I'd moved back to Auckland Central I'd moved to Three Kings from Waiheke Island. And that's a miracle in itself that I still wasn't on Waiheke when I had my accident, my goodness. But because I would have just been completely isolated. I couldn't go anywhere. I wouldn't have been able to get to the hospital. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's not even worth thinking about. But, in a way it is, because that, to me, shows me how faithful God was, that, you know, he knows the end from the beginning. He didn't cause the accident, but he prepared the way, paved the way. But anyway, so 4 days after getting out of hospital, I got this notice that my landlords would be moving back in on Boxing Day. And I had 6 weeks to move. For someone that was in a wheelchair, that couldn't even move from side to side, I couldn't even get up out of bed, really. I was in agony. I was on masses and masses of morphine. Contemplating moving was the whole thing was so surreal. I just thought, how am I going to do this? There's no way I can do this. And I, you know, at that point I just thought, I've had this accident, I can't move, and now I have to move house. I mean, what do I do? So that was so hard. You know, I with a broken wrist, I couldn't even use the computer. So, and I couldn't sit up because of my leg and my hip. So I lay there in bed with the computer, trying to tap away with one hand, looking on Trade Me. And I mean, for anyone that's, you know, gone looking for a rental property on Trade Me, you know how difficult it is and how long it takes to find anything, how arduous the task is, how tramping through Trade Me is really not a fun job. So, and you know, even then, if I even found anything that was worth looking at, then I would have to, well, my mum, who's an absolute amazing woman, I love her to pieces, because she just really is just phenomenal and has been there for me through everything I've ever been through. You know, she'd have to come and try and get me out of the house, put me in the wheelchair, get me to the car, get me in the car, put the wheelchair in the boot, drive me to somewhere, then she'd go scope it out and tell me whether it was even worth me getting out of the car and getting in the wheelchair, and oh my gosh, it was a nightmare. So we did that about 11 times. And to be honest, I got to the point where, even though my faith was strong, my body wasn't getting better. I felt so, I wasn't capable of doing anything for myself. And I got to the point where I actually set a date to end my life, because I couldn't find, even though my faith was strong, I couldn't see a way out. And I didn't want to live like that forever, and I didn't want to be a burden to my family. So anyway, I needed to move on the 26th. On the 17th, I just decided that was the last time I was ever going to look on Trade Me, and after that was it. And it was 9 o'clock at night, and I chose to look on Trade Me that night and found a place and thought, oh, that looks great. And then rung up, no one answered, and I rung back first thing the next morning, and the lady said, oh, you know, we've got 400 people interested in that property. There's not really any chance, but we're meant to be showing the property to someone today, and they can't come, so if you can come at that time, then we'll show it to you. So I rang Mum straight away and said, Mum, I've got to get there, and I've got to try and walk, because I've got to look like I'm, you know, not a complete invalid. And so she came, got me, and took me, and we had a look through and loved it. And I said, oh, can I give you my references? And they said, oh, no, don't worry about that. And I thought, oh, good, I've got no hope in the world. And she said, oh, look, we're going to be making a decision, letting people know on Saturday. So I went home, just, I had so much desire to move to that place, but I just, I didn't really have much hope, to be honest. And I got a call the next morning, and I thought, oh no, she's not letting me know straight away that I don't have a chance. Anyway, so she rang in, she said, oh, look, I've been talking to my husband, and we've decided to choose you. Which, that's God's grace, to be honest, for me, because that was an absolute miracle. That was the 17th of December. I moved on the 22nd, 5 days later. And now I'm in a place which is amazing. I love it, and I'm never been happier in a place where I'm living. It's just, I feel so blessed. So, yeah, so with all of that kind of, and also a friend passing away who was terminally ill on the day that I had actually set to end my life, that was just a huge thing. It kind of really set in my mind that I did have a choice. Right at that point, I had a choice between life and death. She didn't. And I just said, nah, you know what? God's just given me so much grace and been so faithful. I choose life, and I'm, next year for me, this was Boxing Day last year. I said, next year for me is going to be called free. And I'm going to be free in every single area of my life, and nothing is going to hold me back from that. And that is just the journey that I've been walking out this year. And doTERRA has really been a part of that. I mean, I found out about doTERRA, actually, I said this today, and it really does feel real. I felt like doTERRA found me amidst stuff that I was going through. Even before my accident, I had hit, a bad place again in about June last year, and was really down and depressed and suffering with a massive, overwhelming feeling. And I found out about doTERRA Serenity Oil through my yoga teacher, and I'm so blessed that she ever, showed that to me and gave me that experience, because that was a real life changer for me. So that's doTERRA Serenity there. This is a calming blend, and this helped me so much with anxiety. I used to I still do actually, but I would carry this around in my pocket. And, I would be driving and I would get anxious and I'd get overwhelmed, and I would just pull it out and I'd just take the lid off and I'd just be snuffing away. And it just had this ability to just really help me help my body calm, and just really help me to breathe. And, that this has been, I can't live without this now. The Serenity Oil is amazing. It just is, has been so good for me in so many ways with dealing with my emotions. So that was huge. And so that was the first experience that I had with doTERRA. And then with my accident, I couldn't take any anti-inflammatory drugs because my digestive system was so munted. And even anti-inflammatory rubs, they would give me headaches and nausea, and I'd feel so sick. And so I was struggling to find anything that I could actually use to help me with the inflammation, with the pain, apart from the horrible amounts of morphine that I was on. But the actual inflammation on my leg was just so sore, and just to be able to move at all, I needed something. And I found out about Deep Blue, which is this one, which is doTERRA's Deep Blue, and this is made up of an essential oil blend, which has got wintergreen, camphor, menthol, and a few other oils in it. And it's just, blue chamomile, peppermint, I can't even say it, but it's helichrysum, blue tansy, gardenia, and osmanthus. Anna, you need to help me with this. Osmanthus. And that's just been blended into a cream so that it's easy to apply topically. And that didn't make me feel sick, and it didn't give me headaches. And so that so helped me with my body, with my body being able to deal with the inflammation. So, doTERRA started coming up more and more for me. And then I also found out about an oil called Digestium, which is this one here. And this just really helps with your body, supporting your digestive system. And, with all of the stuff my body was going through, I was really trying to cut down the amount of medication I was taking, and I had been dependent on laxatives since I was about 15, and because my body was so dependent on them, my gut just didn't function by itself at all. And in September last year, I was taking 94, I know, cringe, 94 tablets a day. But with the changes in my diet and with introducing essential oils, I've now down to 32, and that's in 7 months. My doctors sort of said you'll never take less than 40. In all my years of trying, I've never been able to take less than 35, and that was trying to cut down from like 100 over a 2-year period. And in 7 months, I've gone from, or even less than 7 months, so I've gone from 94 to 32, which is a massive thing. And this has been huge because with this oil, you can ingest, there's a number of ways you can use oils, but you can ingest this oil in water. It tells you on the bottle exactly how to use it. You put 1 drop in basically a 250ml bottle of water, and you can also apply it topically. So I put it on my hand and I rub it on my tummy, and I'm really trying to gain weight at the moment, so I'm trying to eat more, and just to help with my digestive system managing that, this is huge. This thing helps me so much. So doTERRA also has a number of other digestive supplements in their range, and so I've started using those too. I've started using one called GX Assist, which really helps with cleansing your intestinal tract, and then I'm going to move on to a PB Assist, which is like a probiotic formula, all natural solutions to helping your body. And yeah, so anyway, so those were the first 3 that I found out about, and then started, and then yeah, it was amazing. So I found out about those long before I knew that I could ever work doing anything with doTERRA itself. I had always wanted to, from the moment that I started using Serenity, as a massage and beauty therapist. I thought, I so want to be able to have these oils to be able to use on people and share with people, because that Serenity, or even that one oil, had been such a game changer for me in dealing with anxiety and stress and being overwhelmed, that I just wanted to share. And then I found out just over a month ago, about being able to do a business with doTERRA, and oh my gosh, that was huge for me, being able to incorporate this into what I'm already doing, and something I was already so passionate about and had helped me so much. And even those 3 ways, but now so many more, which I'll talk about in another post. Sleep, oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, I was just so excited. So yeah, so that's basically, I won't go on too much longer, but that's basically why I'm doing what I'm doing. Is my own journey has been intense. I'm now on a real solid road to freedom in every area of my life. My faith has never been stronger as well, which is just amazing. And emotionally, I don't actually know, in the last 2 or 3 months, I can't actually recall the last time I felt so really anxious or stressed or overwhelmed, because I'm supporting my body with these oils, and they're making a massive difference. So I just want to be able to, I know lots of people deal with stress, and I know lots of people have problems with anxiety, and a lot of it goes untalked about because people think it means that they're, I don't know, weak or whatever. I think you just need to talk about it. You just need to share and be honest, because there's things that can help you, and there's natural ways of helping your body. You don't need to take, I'm not going to say don't rely on the medical system, because the medical system's amazing. I mean, without the medical system I wouldn't be alive either. So, but to be able to put natural things into your body to naturally support your own body's way of dealing with things is amazing. Not adding that toxic load to your body, but actually being able to support it in a way that is natural and that your body can manage, and it has even way better effects than anything you can get pharmaceutically. So that's what I'm all about now. For me now, everything's about natural. My diet has completely changed. I don't put anything processed, refined into my body. Everything is either, I'm like about 80% of my diet is raw, but everything is fresh. Everything, I don't eat stuff out of packets. I eat tofu out of a packet, but it's just but it's fresh, and it's, I don't have anything processed or with all these sort of food, what do you call it? additive things, because my body can't cope with that, and our bodies weren't meant to cope with that. Our bodies were meant for natural stuff. We're not created to break down substances that our body doesn't recognize. And that's the same with medications as well, and with, even home cleaning products and stuff. There's so much toxic synthetic stuff in those things that are doing us harm, and you don't have to use them. There is an alternative. So sorry, I probably sound really passionate, but I am so passionate. And the only reason I'm doing this, and I'm going to do lots because I just want to help people, is because I'm so believe that we can really help our bodies heal and deal with every area of our life that we might be compromised or we might be struggling in a natural way, with natural solutions. And so I'm going to do posts on stress and anxiety, the things that have helped me with that, some of the other doTERRA oils that can really help in that area, one on sleep, because sleep, like I said, I was an insomniac since I was 8, and now I sleep. Oh my gosh, I sleep. And do you know what sleeping feels like when you haven't slept your whole entire life? It is, it's massive. So I want to do a thing on sleep. I'll do a thing on digestive support, because that's been huge for me as well. And I'll talk about nutrition as well, because now studying nutrition, having done anatomy and physiology for 10 plus years, I know a bit about the body now. I love it. I'm so passionate about it.